the unpredictability in some of the young rising talent we're seeing within track and field is making this track and field season one of the best ever, and something that's super exciting. I've been trying to get more people more excited around my local area. And to me, going into it, what was going to be really important was where was Kenny Bednarek going to be starting? And I thought if he was next to Courtney Lindsey, that would give him a really great opportunity to be able to do something really well. We knew that Christian Coleman was going to get out to a good start. We see Coleman here on the outside, so that was not something that was going to be a big surprise. What we didn't know for sure is where was Fred Curley going to end up being, right? Because Fred Curley struggled a little bit in the semifinals. I thought he looked really good in the heats, but he didn't look great in the semifinals. And we also saw Christian Coleman look really good in the start, as always, but didn't look good in that last 40 meters. And that was going to be the big question: is could he put it all together? Again, we see a really good start with Courtney Lindsey. We see a really good start. Here's Courtney Lindsey here. And we also see a really good start with Christian Coleman. And surprisingly, too, we also have a high schooler here, Christian Miller, and he did really well, especially towards the end. He ended up putting himself in a position where he may be able to make the 100-meter team potentially. I don't know exactly how that's going to all end up shaking out, but I thought he did really good. Was really impressed with a lot of things that he was able to accomplish. But big story here, big thing that we were looking at was Noah Lyles. Again, does a great job with the start. Kenny Bednarek is doing a better job with his acceleration, better job out of the blocks, and is able to get a bit of a lead on him to start really quick within the arms, really quick within his foot contact time. Talking about Kenny Bednarek, we really liked his arm swing. We talked about that a little bit in the semifinals. But again, look at Christian Coleman. Look at where he's at. Great position here, really good early on. And he was in a position to be able to potentially win this, right? We're looking at this and we're saying, okay, Christian Coleman might win. Courtney Lindsey's also in a good position at this point. He ends up kind of tailing off to the side, and we could see with his right leg, he's not doing a great job coming through that with that right leg. We talked about some of the hip rotation problems that we'll see with sprinters, and this is one of them, where their foot just comes too far off to the side instead of coming straight up and through, and that ends up, I think, negatively impacting the amount of distance you're able to cover per step. We could see Kenny Bednarek a little bit off to the side as well, but he's definitely more straight through. As we could see with Noah Lyles, much better job keeping that foot really nice and tight as he's coming through, which is great. And then Christian Coleman's also doing a good job keeping that foot tight, but his knee is too wide in this position. And that's what was the main thing, is we wanted to see one leg that would be a little bit more of a stability leg, and the other leg be a leg where you're able to really get a lot more length, a lot more power. So for Christian Coleman, that would end up being that left leg. He's got a lot of external rotation here, a lot of stability. Now we'd like to see a lot more length in this right side instead of it end up turning out so much and him not having great control with the foot strike. We'd like to see that right foot be a little bit more aligned, a little bit more straight, to make it so then he could really cover a lot more distance, and then that left foot just comes out a little bit too wide. This is why I like this angle. I like looking at the back. I like looking at the front. You could see a lot more about what's happening when it comes to the lateral plane and the transverse plane when you're looking straight ahead, where when you're looking at the side, you can't see that as much. We could see a lot of with the length. We could see how much range they're getting in the arms. We could see what they're doing from a leg cycle perspective, but you can't see all the planes when you're looking at the side. Now, when you look to see Noah Lyles, what he's doing really good here is he's really allowing everybody else to kind of get to their top speed. He knows he needs to just be close when it comes to the finish. He needs to just be in the area. And then from there, he's going to really put on the jets to be able to pass everybody. Now, Kenny Bednarek is somebody that's definitely able to run with Noah Lyles. And I mean, Fred Curley can as well, but he was already behind. So once Noah Lyles gets in front of Fred Curley, I haven't seen Fred Curley come from behind and be able to take Noah Lyles. You could see that he's trying to catch up to him, but just doesn't have that type of speed where Noah Lyles is really able to go and past Kenny Bednarek, and I think even Kenny Bednarek might have been able to hold on a little bit better there to be able to really put on that extra gas. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kenny Bednarek really gets back to work and is able to, have a really nice Olympic run as well. I think that just the fact that he was as competitive as he was a great thing to show him moving forward when it comes to how good of a sprinter he is, right? Coming in second, beating Christian Coleman, beating Fred Curley, being right there with Noah Lyles the whole time. We'll look to see how he does in the 200 meter. I think that was really, really impressive. But a lot of times we watch these and we walk away saying Christian Coleman needs to get better at his top speed. I mean, I don't know how long we need to be able to continue to talk about that before he really starts to get specific into some of the things that need to improve there. Like we talked about with the length. I mean, this has been a constant issue with him where he just doesn't get the same type of knee drive and the same type of length per step as he even does during his start, right? During his drive phase, he's got really good body angles, really good body position. And then as he gets into his top speed, he really starts to lose it. He starts to have that foot come way too far back behind him. He's limited, or his foot contact time is too long. He loses his body position, loses his hip position, and you're just not going to be able to run with the fastest in the world that way. Right? Christian Miller ended up beating Courtney Lindsey by just a hair too, which was a big win for him. I think that he did a great job, especially given his age, given that he's still in high school. Courtney Lindsey, I think he was in a lot better position, but then he kind of stumbled as he got into his top speed. I don't know if something hurt or if he didn't feel right. That was like the worst finish that I've seen him have this whole heat semifinals, and definitely needs to be able to work on that. He did really good out of the start as well. Courtney Lindsey and Christian Coleman, I think right now have two of the best starts in all of the United States, and obviously we're looking at Noah Lyles having a great finish, as always, and we also see that Kenny Bednarek has a lot of hidden potential, we could say. It's not so hidden anymore. We can see that it has been working hard. He's been doing some great things within his start to make it so he's going to be able to compete at a very high level when it comes to the 100 in the Olympics. And I'm excited to see what he's able to do within the 200 because I know that's one of his more focused events. So yeah, I mean, if you guys like the information, click that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We're going to give you some links to some other videos you guys could watch. Would love to be able to hear your take on some of the things that we saw this weekend. I predicted Christian Coleman would end up winning this thing. I did think there was going to be more wind. I thought that we're going to be able to see something in the low 9.7s, maybe even 9.6s, again, with more wind. This ended up being almost no wind on this. What was it, 0.4 meters per second? So very little wind. So 983 ended up winning it, but I don't know if 983 is going to win the Olympics. We'll end up seeing it. Let me know what you guys think. We'll link to some videos. Like, subscribe. We'll talk to you soon.